what a spiritual experience it's been having something that's going to be returned.
It's a sacred relic to the Northwestern Band of the Shoshone Nation, who lived and hunted in these mountains of its origin in northern Utah.
This was a very important area, especially for my family. You can definitely tell that this is where they camped. It's a very spiritual place.
This unassuming stone started the last chapter of its extraordinary story on a chilly morning in December at a meeting house of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Tremonton, Utah. Historians say the Fremont people, ancestors of the Shoshone, created the engravings on the rock called petroglyphs around 1,200 years ago. But around 80 years ago, the artifact was removed from its original location and hauled to the church.
It sat here in front of the church over by the flagpole until about 20 or 25 years ago, and then it was moved to the north side of the building.
The story goes that around the mid to late 1940s, a group of men or Boy Scouts, depending on who you talk to, procured the 2,500-pound rock with just elbow grease and a pickup truck.
Exactly why it's here, that is a mystery.
I can understand them, looking at that and thinking, wouldn't that be nice to have in our community?
In 2011, amateur archaeologists using a well-known 1937 rock art survey discovered the rock at the church and were able to track down its origin.
They were able to relocate that spot, and so we've been working since about that time on getting everything to kind of line up so that we could move the stone.
The state's role in this case, because this was really private land, private entities, and the tribe, was really bringing together all the partners.
A process that took several years. Historians of the Church of Jesus Christ, who hand-picked art handlers and specialized conservators, worked with the Shoshone Nation to finalize a plan of preservation and repatriation.
The church really has no legal obligation to do anything like this, but we do have a moral and ethical obligation to care for things like this that are in our possession, and in particular to return those things that are in this case, very sacred objects to those rightful owners.
The experience of working with the church and all the contractors, everybody working together to do this has been just uplifting. It's rebuilding our history, and I can't overstate that.
The ancient artifact began its circuitous journey back to its rightful home after being freed from concrete by skilled art handlers who methodically assessed,
that's loose completely. Yeah.
Successfully removed, loaded, and transported the stone to Provo. Into the eager hands of expert preservationists, objects conservators, whose goal was to clean and preserve the petroglyphs, ridding the rock from years of lichen growth.
We're seeing it growing along the areas of design, which is probably an indicator of how the pecking of removing this dark surface to create the lighter areas of design created more texture, and that allowed the lichen to have areas to grab onto and grow a little bit easier.
A painstaking and delicate process, to be sure.
We have to be extremely careful when we're removing it from these areas of that intact patina that we don't pull any of those microfissures or surface with it.
It's finding what methods work without damaging the surface. What did the trick? Soap and water, bamboo and plastic tools, a non-toxic biocide, and steam.
I feel really optimistic that we're going to make a big difference in how it looks, and we'll all feel pretty good about it.
On an unusually warm and sunny winter day, the sacred artifact, cleaned and preserved, was transported back to its original location near the Utah-Idaho border, which will not be disclosed to ensure its safekeeping. And then airlifted into place to once again join its companion petroglyphs, to be separated no more. To the relief of all who anticipated this seminal and sacred moment.
Super emotional, seeing it get set almost instantly in a perfect setting, and so grateful for everyone that's been involved. That rock wanted to be home.
being part of this project and seeing how many different players it takes to really repatriate something back where it belongs. It's an emotional project, and I'm honored and very grateful.
For us to bring back this rock that was probably, placed at the chapel, not out of malice, but out of a lack of proper understanding, to bring it back and put it on this hillside for generations to come is a wonderful thing.
To mark the momentous occasion, the tribal spiritual leader offered a blessing.
He's prayed that everybody will be blessed that helped, and really emotional hearing him say that in Shoshone.
I felt a strong impression that the eyes of our ancestors were upon us in that moment. Shoshone and Latter-day Saint, they were pleased with our efforts to bring this stone back, put it in its rightful place.